Kulian TV.
Fellow Zimbabweans, comrades and friends, we once again visit you. We usually visit you once a day or once in 2 days in order to help each other toe the line. There is a law of nature which I would like to expound to President Mnangagwa for his good. Now, listen carefully as I state the law. It is called the law of unity and conflict of opposites. By nature, opposites were meant to, by the Creator, to coexist. Otherwise, there would be no life in everything. To be properly understood, let me illustrate my point. Fellow Zimbabweans, we all know a human being. We do. For a human being to exist, he must have two openings in his body that oppose each other diametrically. They must have an opening in the form of their mouth, and another opening that allows fecal matter to be discharged. If a person eats and eats and eats without passing out the waste, they die. Why? Simply because there is no opposing orifice. Suppose they have only one mouth, the mouth on, and no other hole to release the fecal matter. That person will surely die. A magnet is another example. It has a north pole and a south pole. If one cuts the magnet trying to separate the two poles, which are diametrically opposed, then he complicates the issue. He creates two different magnets, one with the north and south pole, the other with the north and south pole. In this case now, he has got 4 poles. In the first instance, he had only 2 poles. He complicates the matter. I don't want my example to sound too scientific. Lest my dear president fails to understand me. Fellow Zimbabweans, God the Creator created everything respecting the principles of opposition. You might have heard some people saying there is opposition to everything. But what am I saying to the nation? Here is my explanation. By destroying opposition in the country, the regime thought that they were doing good things, yet not. They were complicating things for themselves, making life difficult for themselves. They are like a person with only a mouth and without another hole to discharge. Now the stomach is bulging. They've got stomach ache and stomach nausea. These are the problems that are bedeviling Zimbabwe as we speak. ZANU-PF is now splitting because due to their lack of knowledge, they thought that by destroying opposition, they were doing themselves any good. Yet not. Problems bedeviling ZANU-PF and President Mnangagwa today are self-inflicted due to their only action that they did when they dismantled CCC. ZANU-PF and President Mnangagwa must take heed of what I'm saying to them right now. Should they fail to do that, they are sinking in a deep blue sea, which is bottomless, very deep, such that if you look through, you can't see even an image. After they sink, they are surely sinking, and they shall sink, and we shall laugh. Everybody, including children, will laugh at these people, saying, what fools. Here is my message to all people opposed to the regime. Be as wise as green serpents in green grass, fellow Zimbabweans, in dealing with the regime. Let's use language that only ourselves understand, that gives the regime no chance to land most of us in prison, no chance to wound us. Such languages as those called in Masingo, Chiduma, in other parts of the world, Chibende, in Manicaland, Shamanika. We say wagonesa, tichira kuti waugoni. Those in my camp, like the Chamisas of this world, the Gesas of this world, the Osalosizivas of this world, the Chiwengas of this world, and all who are opposed to the regime, I urge you with the whole of my heart to take heed of my advice. Brothers and sisters, we love you. We must not really unnecessarily allow ourselves to be injured by the regime. But if they come to us and they are provoking us and doing whatever, this is the time where we must unite and confront them with equal force. But we may not provoke them. Surprise is the way to go. The regime must have no chance to understand us at all. We have to be tolerant to each other. We must avoid destructive criticism at all costs. Criticism must always be constructive and private. Where we want to criticize each other, we better to get into the inbox, and then we discuss, and we conclude privately, not to wash our dirty linen in the public. It's done by children, those who have never been to the Chimurenga Hall, who do not know how to spy the opposing camp. The regime must be spied. Only that. Criticism must be constructive. It's healthy to have opposing ideas. What matters is how the message is conveyed to your fellow citizen. We must understand the natural law of unity and conflict of opposites. If we remove opposites, we die, even ourselves, thinking that we are fighting the regime, yet we are fighting ourselves. In the end, we are defeated. It gives us no mileage. Brothers and sisters, hear me well. Let us all grow and become witty and meticulous in the way we approach the regime. If we try to make 16 million people thinking the same way each of us thinks, we lose the plot and we give the regime a chance. The regime must never have a chance in this time. Our people must boycott all functions by the regime. Those who are not going to boycott, we shall surely take note of them. And we will know how to deal with them later in the Third Republic. Simply, they must never be given positions of responsibility because we call them watengesi. For now, our duty must be to take accurate note of people who still support the functions by the regime. This is what we did during the war. All our tendencies were dealt with. And we knew for sure that if you become a Mtengesi, you will be, I don't know how you were going to be treated. You see? Some were asked to climb a tall gum tree and asked to raise their arms and fall down. And you would see the whole body of a human being tumbling from a very tall gum tree to their peril. I'm not saying we are going to follow what the regime was doing during the war. No. We are now going to use modern methods and modern means. For example, during the war, we would sing songs like trying to solicit goats, solicit cattle and meat from those people who are called Povo. After singing that song, you would not never even serve food with the vegetables if you wanted to live any longer. But can we survive on this kind of approach up to now? That was pure thuggery. That was pure extortion. It happened during that time. We are not going to do that. We only forbid those who are like sellouts, who continue going to the functions of the regime when we say don't go. We don't give them responsibility. Simple. Those working hard, what do we do with them now? We give them great responsibility for them to eat the sweat of their, the rewards of their sweat. Leaders to be must have a way of rewarding those who work hard to remove the regime peacefully, though. Our people must know this one thing. What is that one thing? If you don't do anything during this time in the action and in deed, you have no place in the coming parliament, Politburo, Senate, Central Committee, or even in the local council. You will have no place. And we are watching. We are not going to joke. Remember, we said our government rewards hard work. We understand that in the leadership, pan before us, we have young men who are dangerously popular, but not courageous enough to meet the regime head on. Let us help them, taking advantage of their popularity, to remove the regime, even if they were to be presidents after working hard. Why should we not reward them if they are popular? They must be rewarded. Selfishness is our most critical enemy. Allow those who work hard, allow those who have got their gifts to enjoy what they have done. You cannot plant your maize, have it harvested by someone in order for them to eat with their children. That will never happen. Allow those people like the Chiwengas, the Chamisas to lead. Let them lead. We are not saying just them, allow them to lead. We are persuading the community to vote for them later after removing the regime. The elderly people like the Gesas of this world, the Chiwengas of this world, the Nyatsimba Mutotas of this world will be near such young men to make them courageous, give them buttressing, support them. You see? And if there's anything to harm them, we protect them. Wow, right now we must protect this man who has gone to prison. We must protect Geza. Protect him if he has not committed a crime. If we do that, we shall be sure to win our revolution. Let's not use empty words to intimidate the regime. We will be swiped by them. We don't want to give them a chance. Instead, we must make sure that the regime moves away without even using any force. They must move away. They shall have no support. The regime is known to be bloodthirsty. We must not allow our children to go close to a lion and then try to open its mouth and say how many teeth does it has. The lion, how many teeth has it, and trying to open and counting the teeth of a lion. You will be chewed. We must be wise enough to protect our children from such calamities from the side of the regime. We know the regime is dangerous. We know it. And they call themselves Larakasi. So this is advice given to you as a nation by Nyatimba Mtota. The regime needs to be called that, to be told openly that we also need tens to lick the gouge, which is full of honey. It's not only their 10. We must take tens in licking the couch together so that we can feel the taste together and sweetness. We tell them kindly and firmly. If our approach is weak, it will be difficult for us to displace the regime. Lawfully so. Kudzana chokwadi kuti tava kupada avo patigaro apo, tava kuhuda avo uchihutora kumbohunanza avo, chimvayo papo vaMnangagwa we, tava kudawo kumbonanza avo, hakuti isi nokuti haisi nyika yavo vega ba. Already we have some friends who are prepared to fund our revolution. Mostly our own brothers and sisters, locally and abroad, who want us to be able to communicate with our people by buying data and going to give our brothers who are in prisons food and all those things. We need the funding. And I'm tipping you, asking you, my brother, Nyoka Mapon, the funding is around the corner. All those being given money, land or other material things by the regime in order to betray this revolution must be dealt with later in the Third Republic. Riganandas around our dear president must know that this is their last chance. But those who repent and join others will be forgiven. Forgiven for sure. God wants us to forgive each other when we sin. Because the law says, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. If we don't forgive those who trespass against us, God will not forgive us or forgive those who might have repented. The train is moving very fast, fellow Zimbabweans. Anyone who delays to catch up with this train will be left behind. Civil servants, there is money and life for you in our government. Not less than 1,500 per month. What else do you want? Support the revolution. The same applies to soldiers, police officers, prison officers, health officers, and the rest of the civil service, and even those in parastatals, and those in private sector. Once the money for government is increased, private sector will always take higher so as to take the best of the cream of the people to work for them. We are raising the standard. We are not going to joke. We know of VCWs who are dotted all over the communities in Zimbabwe. They got last paid during Mugabe's era, but they do great work dealing with people who are AIDS infested, those who cannot help themselves, those who cannot go to the toilet. They are being assisted by VCW in our communities. But unfortunately, the VCWs are receiving nothing. Huh? Community leaders like the village heads and all, they are given allowances which are peanuts. In our revolution, after the revolution in our government, you shall surely be happy, all of us together. What is there now where only one group is being happy, living luxuriously, using 60 million US dollars to play pada? This is laughable. The regime has resorted to charging exorbitant taxes on us. Even corpses that are crossing the borders are charged tax. And according to our way of life, this is very, very bad. People who want money to that extent of taxing a dead body, a corpse, that is grossly wrong. And in our government, nothing like that will ever happen. Those in the diaspora wishing to come back home in our republic, they will be allowed to bring their things free through the border. We are going to lower down duty for those who are going to import their cars from somewhere else. We cannot die being pedestrians. That is not good. Fellow Zimbabweans, as I come close to the conclusion of my discussion with you tonight, I want you to know that all that the regime knows are shoddy deals, corruption, thieving, regionalism, nepotism, and killing those people who are opposite to their ideas. Our government is not going to do that. We are going to approach life differently. It's high time everybody must run away from the regime. Our arms are wide open for everybody to come. There is room for all of us in Zimbabwe in the coming republic, the Third Republic. It's now a tree, the Second Republic. It's a tree with rotten fruits. And rotten fruits shall always fall. And this is a sign that the ZANU-PF is now as rotten fruit, together with its leaders. They are rotten fruits. They are going to surely fall. No miracle. There is going to be no miracle. They are going to fall. I'm saying these words today. Mark my words. Fall, meaning that they are going to remove themselves from the seat due to their behavior. They are shooting themselves in the foot. Comrade Nyoka Mabunu reiterated unity of purpose. We must be one in purpose, fellow Zimbabweans. One in purpose does not mean that we think in the same way. One in purpose to us, it means that our purpose is one. What we want to achieve is one thing. The words that we speak might be different, but knowing that we want to remove the regime from there, from the golden seat, we want also to sit there. They must know. If you just try to remove them without making them know that We are also legitimate people who can sit on that golden seat. They might not understand us because of lack of intelligence. I don't think they are intelligent at all. They think that this is their garden. It's not their garden. This is Zimbabwe. You see? So we must pave way for those people who are tested and tried. We have calibers like my brother Chiwenga, Geza, and Shamisa, and even Nyatimba Mutota. I fear nothing. I fear nothing. I'm not scolding nobody. I also want to sit on that seat. I tell them, the powers that be, to pave way for me. I also want to be there tomorrow, if possible. Let them move. And after my time, someone else must come. We don't allow a situation where someone must just stay put in the seat as if there are no other people. No, 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 no. We don't allow that. So, fellow Zimbabweans, the last word that I may say to you is this. Listen to what Longfellow once told me. He said, the heights by great men, reached and kept, were not attained in a sudden flight, but they, when their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night. We have to work hard day and night for us to be able to overcome these problems that we have. If we want to succeed, we must work hard. This is what Longfellow said. With this, I salute you. Thank you.